Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy Simeon Russell. We just seen the Knicks sweep the Brooklyn Nets, almost said New Jersey Nets, out of a bad habit. But we about to talk about it. Let's get with this. My people, it's been a couple days. Glad to be back in the studio. Glad to be back online, live. Glad the Knicks won. So let's get this popping. Tony Crow, yo black, it's time, boy. It's time again, for sure. Hey, Tony, thanks for that article, man, you put on the website. If you guys haven't checked it out, Tony did not really an article, but he did a little post in the forum. You know what I'm saying? So go check that out. Talked a little bit about Joakim Noah, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And, you know, maybe some things the Knicks could do to trade Joakim or make some moves around Joakim. But we're going to talk about that. But right now, let's talk about the Knicks. I know it's only Brooklyn, and that's cool. But we won. And we looked good while we were doing it. So we can't argue about that. You know, we can't get mad with that. You know, we got to accept it for what it is and be happy with a victory, even if it's a team like Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So now we won 2 in a row. We won 2 in a row. And we'll see if we can build from here. We got a tough team tomorrow night, but let's see if we can build. Yeah. Raymel, Frank played well tonight. Played real good tonight. I like what we seen from Frank tonight. He was aggressive, went to the basket. Because he went to the basket, he was able to find, pull off 5 assists, find some people open. It was a good game all around for the Knicks. The numbers, field goal percentage wasn't the best, but it was a good game all around. So let's check out. Take a quick look at what we got going on with the Knicks versus the Nets. Excuse me. Shot 43.8% from the field, 50% from 3, 26 3-pointers. That's nice. 80% from the line, 20 for 25. Went to the line 25 times. That means we're aggressive. And we played a faster pace tonight. We got up and down the floor a little bit. I like that. You know, I like the way I seen it, like what I saw. Moving and getting the ball up and down the floor. You can clearly see that we had some practice time. In the NBA, practice time comes at a premium. You know what I'm saying? But when you get that practice time, it should show in your next game, and it showed. KP played well tonight. You know, KP definitely came through. Cantor definitely came through. 20 points, 20 rebounds. He was a beast out there. Matter of fact, maybe we found our point guard of the future. You know, Cantor running the floor, getting assists. What's going on? Let's see. We actually lost on the boards tonight, even though Cantor had 20 rebounds. We actually lost on the boards. You know what you gonna do? Can't win everything. Still won the offensive rebounding battle. 22 assists tonight. Only 11 turnovers, 2-to-1 ratio. That's nice. 6 steals, 5 blocks. We played out. We balled out tonight. It was a good game. Good game. I like when we play this way. You know, gives you hope when you play this way. You know what I'm saying? Gives you hope when you play this way. But, you know, of course, we've always got to press the brakes because we're going to look good. We're going to be good some nights, bad some nights because of the type of team that we are. We're developing, learning. But I like the way we played tonight. It just looked good. We were doing the right things. We were playing defense, hustling on defense, getting up and down the floor, you know, pushing the ball up the floor. And when you push the ball up the floor, you play at a faster pace, everyone can get in rhythm. You know what I mean? Hornacek is still working out that point guard. Maybe he's not working it out. Maybe he has a point guard rotation. You know, you notice he starts Jack, then he comes in with Frank, and then he'll bring Burke in with Frank for a little while, and then he'll take Frank out and let Burke finish up, and then he'll bring in Jarrett Jack. That's the way he did it in the first half. In the second half, you kind of let Frank, well, not kind of, he let Frank play the rest of the way. You know, so that's good. But I like seeing Frank and Burke on the floor together. You know what I'm saying? I love to see Frank and Burke on the floor together. You see, Frank got a couple of open looks from three because of Burke. You know, because of not exactly because he penetrated, but because of the threat of penetration. You know what I'm saying? Just the threat of it made Frank's man sag off. He kicked it to Frank. Frank knocked down a three. Happened twice. Just the threat of penetration. That's what Trey Burke brings. You know what I'm saying? And when you got them two playing together, I could see that happening. I could see it happening. Definitely. Let's check out the box scores a little bit. For the Knicks, Hardaway, 15 points, 6 for 13 from the field, one rebound, 3 turnovers, 3 steals. Porzingis, 28 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Had those assists early. Still would like to see him get some more assists, but he'll learn how to pass out them double teams. But he played well tonight, 47% from the field. And that's Cantor, 20 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists. Had 4 turnovers, but if he's giving us that, I'll take it. Courtney Lee, 12 points. We're going to talk about Lee a little bit later. Courtney Lee, 12 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Jarrett Jack, 19 minutes, 2 points, 4 assists. Beasley played well, 12 points, 13 rebounds. He didn't shoot that well from the field, but that's okay. We'll take that from him. You know, he wasn't shooting well from the field, so he went to work on the boards. Frank, 8 points, 5 assists, 25 minutes. 2 turnovers, 1 steal. Ron Baker, we see he got hurt. Hopefully, Ron Baker's okay. You know, look, I'm thinking maybe he pulled his shoulder out or something with Ron Baker. You know, I don't remember. I cut off the sound in the second half so I can listen to the State of the Union address. So I'm not sure if they mentioned anything about what happened with Ron Baker. Did anybody hear anything about Ron Baker? Like I said, I silenced the rest of the game so I can listen to the State of the Union. But I hope he's okay. It seemed to me like maybe he pulled his shoulder out, something like that. So then you had, Kyle Quinn played a few minutes, 4 points, 5 rebounds. McDermott, 7 points. Trey Burke, 16 minutes, 2 points, 4 assists. You know, good win overall. Dislocated, D. Guns. It says dislocated. That's what I thought. That's what I figured. That's what it looked like. The Unicorns Knicks, you said these Boston and Milwaukee games will make or break us. I know we've been saying this a while, but now it's true. It could be. You know, these 2 games coming up are going to be tough games. We beat Boston, maybe a month and a half ago, whatever it was, or a month ago. So, Boston's looking for revenge. So it's definitely going to be a tough game. But, if we are seriously considering, we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but if we're seriously considering making a run, then we got to beat them. You're right. We got to beat them. We got to beat them. We got to beat Milwaukee. If we're seriously considering making a run, and if we really think we can make a run, then that's what we've got to do. Jason Forbes, you say Knicks win in Boston and win against the Bucks. If they do that, that's a 4-game win streak. That'd be nice. And if they do that, it'll reinvigorate me as far as us making a run and thinking about, can we make a playoff run or make a playoff push? But we're going to talk about that earlier. I don't want to jump the gun. Or later. We're going to talk about it later. I don't want to jump the gun. But it was a good game. Great game. It's always nice to get on after the Knicks played a good game. You know what I'm saying? They play a bad game, it's tough to get on. And I notice when the Knicks don't play well, the amount of viewers that's on is much lower. When the Knicks play well and we win, the amount of viewers that's on is much higher. It's like, Knicks fans, we get depressed, like, man, I don't want to talk about that no more. I get it. I definitely get it. Surely get it. But let's talk about, we're going to get back to this good win. We're going to get back to it because, there's some things I see people want to talk about. Frank pushed the ball. But let's talk about Joakim Noah. I know everyone's heard the reports about Joakim Noah, and, he's had a blow-up with Jeff Hornacek. Couple of blow-ups with Jeff Hornacek, left the team. He's away from the team right now. And what do the Knicks do? That's the question. The Knicks can't trade him. It's going to be very hard to trade him. If the Knicks do trade him, you can guarantee we're going to be giving up a draft pick or we're giving up something young, and it's not worth it. You can hope to buy him out, but all the reports that I read, Joakim Noah is not going to leave money on the table. So if he's not going to leave money on the table, there's no way that you can buy him out. You can stretch him. If you stretch him, it won't make sense. Let's take a look at Joakim Noah's contract. Again, I know we've looked at it a bunch of times, but just so we can talk about it a little bit, let's take a look at his contract. Okay. Joakim Noah is making 17.7 this year, 18.5 next year, 19.2 and 19.20. So if you calculate that, that's more than $40 million that we owe him for the remainder of this year and the next 2 years. If you buy Joakim Noah out, if you stretch Joakim Noah right now, that means you're going to owe him, and I've seen some people on Twitter do the calculations, you're going to owe him somewhere around $7.5 million a year up until 2023. That's nuts. That's crazy. It really kills your cap. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to do that. We definitely do not want to stretch him. If you stretch him, I think that'll be negligent by Steve Mills and Scott Perry. Negligent. So we definitely do not want to stretch him, and I don't think the team will stretch him. Because then, if you're looking at our salary cap, we don't really have a player on the books after 2020. Now, Tim Hardaway has a player option, so maybe he takes the player option. Frank Ntilikina, 2020, or actually 2019, is a team option. After that, that's it. Our books are clear 2020. If you stretch Noah, now you're adding $7.5 million on the books after 2020. Makes no sense. So I definitely doubt that's going to happen. If that happens, I'm going to show up in front of Madison Square Garden with my sign, because that'd be ridiculous. And I hope you guys would be with me. That'd be ridiculous. But I don't think there's a way that Scott Perry is going to stretch Joakim Noah. A buyout, I can see a buyout, but I don't think Joakim Noah is going to go for it. And this is, I think, the reason why Joakim Noah doesn't go for a buyout. Well, one, the reports that I've read is that he doesn't want a buyout and that he's not willing to negotiate a buyout. And here's the reason why. If Joakim Noah negotiates a buyout, we owe him over $40 million for the remainder of his contract. say he takes a $5 million cut, $5 to $10 million cut. Is he going to get that? Is he even going to sign another contract someplace? That's probably his concern. Where else does he sign a contract? Will he sign a contract someplace? That's probably his concern. And the reason he's like, no, I'm not going to buy out. I'm not going to accept a buyout. I want my money. Because he probably feels that he may not be able to sign another contract. Or if he does, it's going to be the veterans minimum for sure. Or maybe even the veterans minimum. So what I do, if I'm Scott Perry, is I say, look, you don't want to accept a buyout, then we're going to keep you. You stay home. Look, you got to pay him the money anyway, right? You stay home. If by some chance we make some trades and we got some room for you to play, then we'll let you play. I, for one, think that Joakim Noah can help the team. I honestly do. I think, he can't play heavy minutes, but I think he can help the team in some ways. But if they don't have intentions to play him, then you tell them you're not going to play. You can go home. You can collect your money and sit. At some point, Noah's going to understand that him not playing is going to hurt his career even more if he has a career left. It's going to hurt it even more. And then he may accept the buyout, understanding that he needs to play in order to, stay competitive, to keep his body in shape, to keep his body moving, to keep his body working. That's what I do. And then if you keep him and he does stay, when you get into year next summer, 2018, 2019, now his contract possibly could become an asset for you in the event that there's a trade out there that you'd like to make, or a team that wants to, it has contracts extending past 2020 and they'd like to shed some salary and they have a player that you want, or, then it becomes, he possibly becomes an asset. That's what I do with Joakim Noah. Harry, you say Noah can be a front office person? Maybe, but I don't know. I don't think Noah wants that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Noah wants to be a front office person. I think he wants to play. You know what I mean? CP the artist, you say you think the relationship is too broken for him to come back. It might be. I think I agree with you there. I don't think he's happy with Jeff Hornacek. He may not even be happy with Scott Perry and Steve Mills. He was brought to the Knicks to be a complementary piece to Carmelo and Derrick Rose. That defensive anchor, energy guy to help the team get over the top and win some games. And obviously it didn't work out. So now that the team is going younger, where does he fit? Playing a different type of game, more of an up-tempo style. See, Joakim Noah was a good guy to have for if you were playing a triangle. When he was with the Bulls, Tom Thibodeau actually did a lot of triangle action. Joakim Noah was a facilitator with the Bulls in a half-court set. If he was able to stay healthy, he maybe could have been a facilitator last year with the Knicks because, we ran a triangle. But with the system we run now, Joakim Noah really doesn't fit, although he hasn't looked horrible when he's played. He's looked okay. He doesn't have a jump shot, so teams can close in the middle. That's a problem, but for the most part, Joakim Noah really doesn't fit within our future plans anywhere right now. Although he probably could help us because he can play defense and he can rebound. He can give you some spurts, but I don't think it's make or break with him. I don't think it's like, because Joakim Noah is not playing, we're not doing well. I think it's basically, he can give us some minutes, he can help, but that's about it. He's not pushing us over the top anywhere. So there we go. You know what I mean? French Unicorn, I appreciate that, bro. Thank you very much. Appreciate the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Looking forward to talking to you later on. So there we go with Joakim Noah. You know what I'm saying? He, we got an issue on our hand. And just when we thought, even though we weren't winning, when you think, okay, we're drama free, we're done with all of that, we can move on, and just build our culture. Something happens, something pops up. So Scott Perry, Steve Mills, they need to do something. They need to handle it, get it out the way, figure out what we're gonna do so we can move on. You know what I'm saying? We don't want it to linger. Let's not let it linger. Young guys don't need to be around it. KP's probably had enough of it. I'm sure KP's like, damn, here we go again. You know what I'm saying? I know he's had enough of it. Let's move on. Let's get rid of it. If that's the problem, let's find a way to get rid of it smartly, though. No stretching them. No stretching them. No giving up first round draft picks. No giving up. Not giving up young players. So if there's a trade you can do, I know Tony Crow has some ideas on some trades. You can read about it in the forum. He posted it in the forum. You know what I'm saying? I know Tony Crow has some ideas. So if there's a trade out there where some team thinks that they can utilize them and they have a player on the same type of contract, then maybe you do something like that. But we got to find a way to move past it and get it out the way so we have no drama. We don't want that drama. We want to teach the young guys how to play basketball in the NBA the right way. So now let's talk about Courtney Lee, since we're talking about players and trades. Of course, there's rumors out there that the Oklahoma City Thunder are interested in Courtney Lee because, their shooting guard, he went down. And Courtney Lee would probably fit in. It's like they have a nice, neat little slot right there for Courtney Lee. I'm sure that they've probably put in a call to Scott Perry and Steve Mills. For one, I like Courtney Lee. I like everything that Courtney Lee does. He's not a perfect player, but I think that he is good for the young players because I think he's a good leader. He's consistent. He plays defense. He doesn't argue about his role. He just comes to play ball. You know what I'm saying? And I like that. That's what I really like about Courtney Lee. He just comes to play ball. No arguing, no complaining, no fighting. Stays out of the drama. He had the one little thing with the referee this year, but for the most part, you're getting a good ball player, a good character guy with Courtney Lee. I hate to lose a guy like that because you can't find those type of guys all the time. You just don't. He's a good all-around player that can play on both ends of the floor with good character, good leadership ability. You don't find guys like that all the time. So I'd hate to give him up. Yeah, Mighty Knicks, you're right. OKC, they can use C. Lee. JMC, you say Lee should go to OKC, but Lee really doesn't have any control over it. The Knicks have control. So, Lee really can't say, well, I want to go to OKC. The Knicks have all the control. Yeah, Jason, Courtney is like he's like the most consistent guy on the floor every night. He's gonna bring it. And if he's off offensively, that he's still gonna bring it defensively. He's gonna bring it defensively. So French Unicorn, you say he's 32 and high value. Yeah, he's 32 years old. So you know he really doesn't have a huge future with the Knicks. By the time the Knicks are good, Courtney Lee is looking at being 35 years old. I'm sure Courtney Lee would like to contend or be on a team that can come close to contending. He hasn't really been on a good team since he went to the championship with Shaq. I mean, I keep saying Shaq, with Dwight Howard, in his rookie year. So he hasn't really been on the Memphis teams. He's been on some good Memphis teams, but he hasn't really done much. His teams haven't really done much. But I think he can help a contending team. And he can definitely help OKC right now. Because Roberson was their defensive guy, defensive specialist, but he couldn't score. He wasn't a scorer, couldn't hit threes. Courtney Lee can step in there and it'd probably be an upgrade for OKC. So that's something that we really need to watch. OKC can't match salary without, Jason, you say OKC can't match salary unless we take a player like Peterson for 3 years. Well, let's take a look at what OKC, let's take a look at their salary cap. OKC. They got the third biggest payroll in the league this year, $134 million. Makes sense when you just bring in Carmelo and Paul George and you got Russie. Makes sense. So let's see, what could we do? Andre Roberson was making $9 million this year, $10 million next year, 10.7 in 1920, but he's still going to be on the team. So you're talking that you're right. They don't have anyone that really matches his salary. So you're gonna have to put together a few players. And so if you have to put together a few players, excuse me, that means that the Knicks also have to send out somebody. Right? So the Knicks will also have to send out at least another player. Because Courtney Lee makes around $12 million. So in order to match his salary, you're putting together two players that's making $4 or $5 million just to match his salary. The Knicks will have to send out at least three players in order to make a roster spot, unless they plan on just waiving one of the players that they get. So I guess they could do that. Who would we want? Because, we're going to name guys, of course. But if we name guys, we're probably going to name guys that OKC wants to keep. So, what's the trade? Who would we want? And who would they give up? You think they're going to give up Ferguson? I don't think so. And maybe they feel they can fill in Roberson's spot. Who knows? But I'm interested to see what kind of, I've seen some things swirling around there, and but most of it is just fans kind of saying, the Knicks should trade Courtney Lee for this or that or this or that. But I haven't seen anything serious. Yeah, Ferguson is an explosive guy, right? He's an explosive guy, but is that someone OKC wants to give up? And even still, if they are willing to give up Ferguson to get Courtney Lee, right, 6'7", he's a 6'7" guard, could probably play some three. But if they're willing to give up Courtney Lee, then we still got to find a way to send out. We got to find a way to take back some money from them. Trade for Melo. So we got to find a way to take back some money. Right? So that means we got to add in, we've got to find a way, he's only making $1.7 million. So now you're still talking about $10 million more that we got to pull in from them. And if you're talking, so now you're talking about two guys that make $5 million. and they're probably guys that can produce. So you're not going to want to bring them guys in and then just waive them. So it could be a little bit tricky with OKC because they have so many low salaries on the team. Besides Paul George, Steven Adams. Carmelo and Westbrook, everyone else is, pretty much low salary. JMC, you say Courtney Lee and Jared Jack for Ferguson, Singler, and a second rounder. But the money doesn't match up. Singler makes $4.6 million. Ferguson is $1.7 million. Right? So that's, about $6 million. Courtney Lee makes $12 million. The money has to match up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Singler's still on the team, but the money's got to match up. Yep, the money's got to match up. Mighty Knicks. Let's get Tobias Harris from the Clippers. I really like Tobias Harris. I'm actually surprised that the Pistons did that trade. Blake Griffin is cool, but I didn't think he was worth all that, in my opinion. He's constantly hurt. I don't think that his offensive skill is like off the charts. He's a decent player, but I don't know. Do you guys think that trade makes the Pistons better? The Pistons obviously, excuse me, believe that with Blake Griffin, they can make this push to get into the playoffs. Right? Because the Pistons were, what they do tonight. Let's see what they did tonight. Well, they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, but the Cavaliers are the Cavaliers. You know what I mean? They're going through their thing right now. But, let me go to the standings. That's what I meant to go to. But the Pistons coming into tonight's game were 22-26. Now they're 23-26. So they obviously believe that by adding Blake Griffin, that's going to push them into the 8th, 7th, or maybe even 6th seed. And that, that he really changes their trajectory. Do you think so? I'm going to say this. I think that for this season, maybe he does push them into the playoffs, but I don't think that in the long term he's going to turn them into a championship team. I think they'll probably be the Clippers of the East now. Honestly, that's what I see. You know what I mean? I think they'll be the Clippers of the East. They'll be a middle meddling team, kind of hang out in the middle. Maybe you think a couple of years that they can contend, but I don't think. I don't know. I don't think Blake Griffin has it. That's my opinion of him. I don't think he has it. Now, let's talk about this. KP wants to, of course, fight for the playoffs. I know we go through these arguments all the time about if the Knicks should try to push for the playoffs or should they say, let's play the young guys and take it, whatever happens. If we make the playoffs, we make the playoffs. If not, we're cool. Well, Porzingis says the Knicks should be buyers at the trade deadline, that the Knicks should try to add some pieces to get into the playoffs. He clearly wants to try to, I'm not going to say win now, but he clearly believes that making the playoffs and getting to the playoffs and fighting for a playoff spot is better for his development, and I agree with him. It's better for his development. I clearly agree with him. But this is where I disagree with him. Why I believe that, and we've talked about it on several occasions, but while I believe that the Knicks should try to fight for a playoff spot, I don't believe that they should make any significant trades to try to get into the playoffs. Unless the trade that you're making preserves your future flexibility, the trade that you're making ensures that you're not giving up any future assets or future players like Frank, then you don't touch anybody, in my opinion. You know, I don't think you don't make any sacrifices this year to try to get into the playoffs this year. I think you fight with who you have, unless a deal comes along that doesn't, one, hurt your future flexibility, doesn't require you to give up first-round draft picks, and doesn't require you to give up any young players, any significant young players. So with that being said, what kind of deal would actually come along that could push us into the playoffs? That is a surefire player that's going to put you into the playoffs. Probably none. You never know in the NBA, but probably none. You know. But I get what Porzingis is saying. He wants to be in the playoffs. You know, he's in his third year in the NBA, and he hasn't had a winning season yet. You know what I'm saying? He came in as a rookie. We weren't good. Terrible as a rookie, right? When he came in as a rookie, we were a bad team. Second year, still not a good team. Now this year, we started off good. We're not finishing well. So, Tony Crow, you on the line? My man, Tony Crow. Call back, Tony. Oh, there we go. Hold on for a minute, Tony. Hold on for a minute. I'm going to get you up to the chat in a minute. So, I think I understand exactly where Porzingis is coming from. You know what I mean? I understand exactly where he's coming from. But I don't want to take no chances in giving up the future for... Here we go. I don't want to take no chances in giving up the future for to try to make a push this year. Doesn't make sense to me. Just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because if we can make the playoffs with who we have, cool. If not, then we ride out with it. That's my opinion of it. My man, Tony Crow, what's poppin', bro? Give us a big shout out to the chat.
Yo, Black, it's time. What up, chat?
It's time again, bro. What's happening with you, man?
I'm nothing. I missed the game and shit. But what I want to talk about? OKC. Do they have a trade exception?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not sure.
If they have a trade exception, that could be used, you know, to compensate some of the money that has to go to the Knicks.
Right.
But I don't see them having the assets. We would have to take a bad contract back.
I mean, a lot of their contracts is kind of short. You know what I'm saying? They're on like, well, not short, but small contracts. Short money. Yeah. Short money contracts. So you know what I'm saying?
We would need multiple players to for it to add up.
Right. We need multiple players, which would mean that we would probably waive somebody. Not one of our players now. We'd probably be looking to bring in one of their players and waive them, unless it was somebody better than who we had. You know, my question is, you know, do they value Courtney Lee that much where, you know, they're willing to give up 2 or 3 players and maybe even a pick for Courtney Lee? And in any trade that we make, I don't want to take on any money. If we trade Courtney Lee, because Courtney Lee's contract, I believe, goes until it's either 2019 or 2020.
I think it's 20.
Right? I think it is 20. I wouldn't want to take any...
I think like everybody come off the books on 20.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to take anything past that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take anything past 2020 because 2020, I don't want to, you know, if we trade Courtney Lee, which, you know, I like Courtney Lee, but if we traded Courtney Lee, I'd be hoping that we take back less years, a contract with less years, so that we can free up more money in 2019. Because in 2019, there's a nice free agent crop. So if we can free up money for 2019, pick up somebody nice, and then pick up somebody
That's
nice in 2020.
that's probably the best case scenario. But the whole thing with 2020 is we have so much, like you were saying earlier, it's Tim Hardaway with 18 million and Frank Ntilikina.
Right.
So that's what 22 million out of 99. It's 99 right now, the cap. Who knows if it goes up or not? But 22 million out of 99, that's 76 million.
Yeah.
That's two max players, and you know what I mean, and 15 million left over.
Yeah.
So even stretching Noah and paying that 7.5, that still leaves you with enough money for two max players.
Yeah, I mean it does. But then it also we got $7.5 million on the books till 2023. So it's like,
yeah,
that's a good role player. You know what I mean? That 7.5 million, that's a good role player, or a young guy that hasn't proved himself yet, but is right there. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, stretching him. Only reason I would consider stretching him is with the situation what it is right now, with him and Hornacek. The beef with KP don't need to go through this again. You know what I mean? So if it's that bad, then and you gotta get rid of him, then I understand that.
What I do if it's that bad, I just send him home. Tell him don't come. We'll send you your check in the mail. Don't come to the gym. You know what I'm saying? If you come to the gym, we're gonna escort you out.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of that so much. People was talking about doing that with Melo. If he came back this year, which I thought was horrible. And I remember when Marbury was here.
Do that with Melo.
When Marbury was here, and they did him dirty. So I've never been a fan of.
No, I agree with you. That's not something that I like. But I'm just saying, if Joakim Noah doesn't agree, first of all, if they can work it out, they can work it out. But I think Joakim Noah he's not happy that he's not playing. But now I think if Joakim Noah, so if they can't work it out, and then Joakim Noah is like, I'm not gonna accept the buyout, you almost don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Because stretching him, I think it hurt. I think it's gonna hurt the team if you stretch him. It's gonna hurt the team in the long run.
Well, the buyout doesn't really help either because we still gotta pay. We still gotta pay him.
Yeah. The buyout don't.
The
really help.
The only way we end up not paying him in the buyout is if he's picked up off of Well, no, that's if he's waived. If he's waived,
right. Ain't nobody picking that
and
up.
somebody picks him up, they're picking up his salary.
Right.
If nobody picks him up,
right,
we're paying his salary.
Ain't nobody picking that joint.
His salary.
Ain't nobody picking that up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
the only way the buyout really helps is if you pay him a little bit less money. You know what I'm saying? And then that still isn't gonna help that much. It's only gonna help a couple million a year. But you do free up that roster spot.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You do free up a roster spot. The hope would be that you can find a way to trade him, but
put it like this: with the buyout, you talking about paying him what he got, 18 million. So let's say he's generous enough to say, I'll take 13. You talking about paying him 13 million in the next 2 years for not playing, opposed to paying him 7.5 the next 4 years for not playing.
5 years for not playing.
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years for not playing. But then it's like it's kind of like going to Aaron's and buying a couch. You know what I'm saying? The interest. Like you can get that joint right now, and you like, yeah, I got a new TV, I got a new couch, I got all that. But then later on, that when you still making the payments like 6 years down the line, you're like, dang. And now my couch is raggedy, and I'm still making these payments. You know what I mean?
The only difference is you're not paying any more. You're not paying more for it. You know what I mean? You're still paying the same price.
That's true.
That's
true.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
you're not paying more. You're still saying the same price, but over time.
I feel you though.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Same price, but over time. But it's like, I don't know. I think we'll be able to use that 7.5 million, for a player. You know what I'm saying? But
No, no
it's
doubt.
worth watching to see what happens, man. I think the best case scenario really would be that the Knicks make some trades and they open up some space, and then they say, okay,
For him to play.
Joakim, you can play. Right. Like they make some trades. Kylo Quinn is traded, or something happens, and then it's room for him to play. We'll see, man. Hopefully it gets resolved quick. However, it gets resolved.
I hear you. I just feel like I honestly feel like he's the worst center on our team. I feel like Herman
Probably.
Gomez is even better than him. And Kylo Quinn is doing, I would say, exactly what Noah was doing at his best.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Right now, he's defending, he's passing, he's scoring better than Noah was. Noah may have been a slightly better defender, but the assists are right on par. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Herman Gomez, he got the potential.
Yeah, he's got.
I
he's
think
got the potential.
I think Noah's the guy that got to go, especially if we building.
Right. Exactly.
It was one thing when he was supposed to be the leader, or the guy that the other players look up to, but right now he's even messing up that role.
Exactly. He's even messing that up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he messed that up coming into the year with the drug situation and all that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? He messed that up coming into the year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. So
But
that's a tough situation right there, but hopefully they can resolve it quick,
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
I got a couple more articles I'm a post up on your website.
Okay.
Let them know your website so they could go check it out.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And word, comment and all that.
Definitely.
I'm gonna post all my thoughts on there.
All right, that's what's up. For sure. All right, man.
One.
All right, peace out, bro.
Yo, Black, it's time.
It's time again, man. Always. Yes, people. So what do y'all think, man? What are y'all thinking about Joakim Noah? You know what I'm saying? Some good thoughts about Noah, but I think overall, they're gonna find a way to let him loose. If they can't work it out, I think they're gonna find a way to let him loose. And hopefully, it's the smart move. They make the smart move, and they don't stretch him. I think that's a smart move. All right. Can the Knicks make a run? Can they make a run? And can they make a run without making a trade to make a run? Right now, if you look at the, if you take a look at the standings, we are, hold up. You take a look at the standings after tonight, we're 3 games out of the 8th spot. A game behind Detroit with 23 and 28. Detroit is 23 and 26. Philadelphia is 24 and 23. I'm not sure we catch Indiana. Indiana is 28 and 23. So now we're fighting with Philly and Detroit for that 8th spot. Emmanuel, you say no, we can't. I'm kind of with you, Emmanuel. You know what I'm saying? Marvin says yeah. He said hell yeah. I'm. It's tough, because after a win, of course, everybody feels good. So you're like, yeah, we can get it. But of course you've always got to kind of go back and say, well, let's look at reality a little bit, and let's see how we there. Detroit just made a big move. They got Blake Griffin. That I don't know if Blake Griffin is going to get them over the top to being a contender, in my opinion. But he definitely gives them a push to make the playoffs. You know what I mean? He's definitely giving them a push. I mean, Philadelphia, without adding any players and with 2 losses in a row, are still 1 game above 500. You're looking at, we'll probably need to be 500 to get there, which means we need to, for the remainder of the season, we need to be 5 games above 500. So just to get to be, for the remainder of the season, we need to be 5 games above 500 for the remainder of the season, just to get to 500 to end the season. And it's not going to be easy. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard. We don't have a crazy schedule, but it's not an easy schedule either. 4-6 in the last 10 is not going to get it. We need to be at least 6-4 over, 10 games, and then 10 more games, 6-4. So it's going to be a tough task. And I'll say this. I will say this. We're at a point now where we can settle down a little bit. We went through the whole Tim Hardaway Jr. was hurt. And as cancer, he went out for a little bit. I feel like maybe KP is getting some energy back, maybe has a second wind. Now you have Trey Burke, so you have another player that can come in and help the team. And maybe things, the next couple of games, start to settle in. Maybe they start to settle in a little bit. And we'll see. If things start to settle in, maybe they get back to the way that they played earlier in the season. It's hard to say. I'm going to remain optimistic. I'm always going to be optimistic. But I'm just not sure we have it to get over top. If Tim Hardaway had not went out, I believe right now we would be maybe in that 9th spot, close to 500. That's my opinion. But Tim Hardaway went out. So with Tim Hardaway, if we were meddling at 500, I think that we'll probably medal around 500 from now to the rest of this, to the season ends, which means that we end the season 4 to 5 games below 500. That's what I see. That's how I see it. But we'll see. You never know. You never know what happens. And maybe there is a trade out there that doesn't require us to give up anything young, doesn't require us to kill cap space for the future, and doesn't require us to give up draft picks that'll help us move in that direction. But I think right now Philadelphia and Detroit got the jump on us for the remainder of the season. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. Definitely, this game versus this game versus Boston is an important game. Important game for us. And Boston right now, Boston is 36-15. They got the 3rd best record in the league. Their defense is off the chain. It is a rivalry game, so we'll step up a little bit, most likely. You know what I mean? We'll step up a little bit because it's a rivalry game and probably play a little bit better, hopefully. I think when we play them, we're in Boston. Am I right? I think we play them in Boston tomorrow night. Yeah, because we're home tonight and then we play in Boston tomorrow night. So that's always going to be a tough game. If we can go to Boston and get us a win, I'll be reinvigorated. My belief will start to rise once again. If we can go to Boston and get a win, if we win in Boston, then I'm gonna say we got a chance to make a run. If we go to Boston and we beat them, I'm gonna say we got a chance to make a run. Yeah, we play Boston in Boston on ESPN, 8 o'clock. We get that win, I'm gonna say we can make a run. I'm not gonna say we make the playoffs, but I'm gonna say we can make a run and make it real interesting. If we can get that win, because I think that might be something that propels us if we can go get that win. It might be something that propels us forward. You know, I mean, and to beat Boston, I mean, let's take a look back. Let's go backwards. Let's look at the stats the last time we played Boston. Okay, let's take a look at that. I'm gonna mess around with this and pull this up a little bit. Because we played a really, really good game. And that was the game. It's funny. Is that Boston game, that was the game where we were kind of at our pinnacle of the season, right? We were at our high point of the season. We beat Boston, and it was like, okay, this team can make some noise. This team can do something. And then all of a sudden, things dropped. It fell off. Tim Hardaway got hurt. I think Enes Kanter went out for a couple of games, and it was like, man, you know, maybe we're not what we thought we could be. You know what I'm saying? So now it's come full circle. We're back to Boston again at a point in the season that's make or break. Make or break. You know, we'll see. You know, we're at a, you know, it's make or break. So, you know, Boston can make our season or break our season for us. We beat them. We're taking this back. It was at the Garden. We beat them 102-93. Porzingis had, wait a minute, let me make sure this is right. Yeah. Porzingis played 23 minutes, had 1 point, 5 rebounds. Kanter had 14 points, 10 rebounds. Courtney Lee, 12 points. Jack had 12 points, 5 rebounds. Michael Beasley, that's right. Beasley went off and had 32 points and 12 rebounds. All right. Frank had 8 points, 1 assist. Jack, 12 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. We're a different team now because we got Trey Burke. So he adds a different dimension to the team, for sure. You know what I'm saying? He adds something that the Celtics haven't seen, so maybe that's to our benefit. Hopefully, Porzingis all year, he struggled against the Celtics because they play that physical type of game against the Celtics. We may need for Beasley to really step in and play tomorrow night. Have one of them games again if we want to have a chance of winning. Marvin, you say it's still early. I disagree, man. I don't think it's still early for the Knicks. When you're sitting at 5 games below 500 and you want to make the playoffs, it's not early. You know what I'm saying? Because our longest win streak of the season was 4 games, I believe. 4 games. So if we win 4 games right now, if we win 4 games in a row right now, which means that we would have a 6-game win streak, we still would not be at 500. And we still, most likely, would not be in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Now, our longest win streak of the season is 4 games. So, yeah, it's not early for us. You know what I'm saying? We got to fight, claw, and scratch if we want to try to make it. Now, if we were 500 right now, we could say, you know what, it's still early. We got some time. I don't think we have that time. You know what I'm saying? I think that we, if we want to make the playoffs, I think our back is against the wall. And we got to treat every game right now like it's a playoff game, in my opinion, because we don't have that kind of talent. We don't have that kind of team. If we were the Cleveland Cavaliers, then we could say, you know what, it's still early. We got time. We'll be okay. If we were the Celtics, we might be able to say the same thing. If we were the Raptors, we might be able to say the same thing. But we're not. We're the Knicks. We're marginal. We have some talented players. We have some talented players. I'm not going to say marginal talent. You know, we got a couple of guys that are really talented, and then we have marginal talent. You know, so, and we're young. You know, we got some young guys that are learning and all those type of things going on. So I think for us, it's not as early as it is for other teams if we want to make the playoffs. You know, I think if we want to make that push, it's got to start now, and we've got to look at every single game as a do or die moment, really. You know, as a playoff game. You know, we got to say we're in the playoff race right now. Why do you think Detroit made the move that they made? Detroit made that move. They didn't say, well, it's still early, we got enough time. No, Detroit said, we want to try to make a push. Darcy, you say the Pistons blew the team up? I don't know if they blew the team up. I mean, they brought in, you know, they still got a decent team. I mean, they beat the Cavaliers tonight. Now, the Cavaliers have been playing horrible, so maybe that's not saying much. But they beat the Cavaliers tonight, and, you know, they'll be adding Blake Griffin. When do they play next? Not sure, but they'll be adding Blake Griffin. They still got Reggie Jackson. They still got Andre Drummond. I'm not going to say that they blew it up. Now, if they get rid of Andre Drummond and Reggie Jackson, then you can say they blew it up. And I don't think they blew it up. I think they believe that they added a piece that's going to push them into the playoffs. But back to the Boston game. You know, last game, Kyrie Irving went off. He had 32 points. Well, he shot 44% from the field, 4 assists. I mean, Kyrie Irving did Kyrie Irving. You know, if you're looking at the matchups, we held them to 38% shooting, 34% from three. We shot 46% from the field, 56% from three, but we only shot 14 three-pointers. You know, that'll probably go up. We dominated the boards, 49-35. Still, we had a lot of turnovers. Fortunately, it didn't hurt us that game, but we're going to have to take care of the ball. It's going to be tough against Boston. They're a physical team. They play physical defense. So, you know, you might expect an increased amount of turnovers against Boston. Only had 13 assists. I don't know if I could say right now our offense, the past few games, our offense we've been pulling down those assists. Offense has been clicking. Defense has been terrible. We played good defense tonight. We played good defense against Phoenix. See if we can keep that up. We'll need to replicate this game. Maybe not the turnovers, but we'll need to replicate this. Keep the turnovers down. Pick up the assists. Give ourselves a chance. The last time we went to Boston, we got smacked in the face. You know what I'm saying? We got smacked. We can't let it happen this time. Got to show some heart if we really want to have that chance. If we really want to have that chance, we got to show some heart. We got any more calls, man? Feel free to call in, Skype in, whatever it is. If you got any more calls, you know, as we, I'm gonna be on for about 25 more minutes as we wrap this up. Continue talking about the Knicks and Boston. We're kind of talking about if we can make a run in the Knicks and Boston at the same time. You know what I'm saying? If you want to Skype in, I'm going to throw the Skype up here. Skype in right there. If you want to go check out the website where Tony Crow was talking about some of the things he posted in the forum, you can check out the website right here. And check out the forum. I still hadn't had a chance to get everything updated on the website, but it's coming. You know what I'm saying? I'm working a lot of things at one time. You know what I'm saying? But it's coming. You know, so, you know, if you want to call in, give us a call. We'll be online for about 25 more minutes or so. Maybe a little bit shorter than that if we don't get any calls. You know, maybe a little shorter if we don't get any calls. But the Knicks and the Celtics tomorrow night, 8 o'clock ESPN. I hope that we show up, though. I don't want to have one of these games on national TV where we don't show up and we get wiped up. You know what I'm saying? And wiped off the floor. I want our guys to show up, win or lose. We need to show up, play tough. You know what I'm saying? I need to show up and play tough and see if we can pull out a win. After we play Boston, let's go back and let's look at our schedule. After we play Boston, let's see what we're looking at. Just to get an idea of what we're facing if we think we're going to make a run. Okay, so we beat Brooklyn tonight, second win in a row. We play Boston tomorrow night. Friday night, we play Milwaukee in Milwaukee. ER, my man ER, what's popping, bro? Hey, what's popping, man?
What's up? What's up, fellas? How we doing, guys?
What's up, French?
Chip? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, bro. Feeling good.
We had a good win tonight.
For sure.
We should play Brooklyn every night.
Tell me about it. We should play Brooklyn. I'm with that, man. Play Brooklyn every night.
Yep, and then we wouldn't have to worry about getting into the 8th seed. We'd be a lock.
You know what I'm saying?
It was fun, though. It was a good win.
Yeah, it's a good win. I always like to see us have a good win, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's always feels good to have a good win.
Blowing people out is fun.
Yeah. So what do you think about us making a run? Do you think we can do it? You think we can make a run?
I'm all about it. I'll take the run if we don't have to trade for like a Kemba or, something like that. I'm all about a run, but let's do it with these guys that we have. Or I know you love Lee, but I trade Lee for, say, a young wing or something like that if we could get it. If not, stay with what we have. Be sellers. Don't be buyers. And then make a run with the guys we have. I like our team. I think with Tim Hardaway and Trey and Porzingis, and we can make a run.
Yeah.
Take the 8th seed. Yeah.
Okay. Now, see, I definitely like Lee.
Yeah.
But just looking at the business, I clearly understand why the Knicks would trade him. You know what I'm saying? Because
not on our timeline. 32 years old.
He's not on the timeline. He's playing well.
Yeah, his value would be higher than it is right now.
Yeah, he's playing well. He can get you. He can maybe get you a first-round draft pick, maybe, or some young talent.
Or somebody young. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And and if you trade him, you open up some room for Dotson to play, for one of your young guys to play. So I get it. I understand. I would hate to lose him, but I definitely understand why you would trade him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I definitely get it.
Create some minutes for Dotson. Dotson's been looking good in the G League, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, let's answer this question. Sir Patrick Mack asked the question, is an 8th seed really that important this year? And my answer to that is this. If we can get that 8th seed, Patrick, without trading a first-round pick, without giving up a young guy, without picking up extra salary, then yeah, I think it's worth it because, our guys learn, it creates that hunger for the guys that want to win. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got guys fighting for that 8th seed, right? They're fighting for that 8th seed and maybe they don't get it, they're going to come back more hungry next year. They're going to come back hungry. You know what I'm saying? But then not only that, they're learning the determination, the focus.
There's nothing like
to make it to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And in order to make it to the playoffs, they're learning how to win. Basically, they're learning how to win. It takes some determination, some focus, some sacrifice, things that maybe you don't do. Things that maybe you don't do. You don't go out, party, and all those type of things. You know what I'm saying? You learn all those type of things when you're in a playoff fight.
You get that experience, and if next year you're the fourth seed, then you have that to fall back. Hey, I had that experience of playing last year. Even if you get swept, you were still in the playoffs. The media, the travel, the intensity, the different calls.
Yep.
There's place in that.
And then if you get in that play, you get in the playoffs. You're playing in the AC. The playoff, the game, just the game itself,
Different.
is different than playing in the regular season. Just the game itself, the intensity jumps up a notch. The preparation is different. Analyzing, making the adjustments. You've got to make adjustments.
You're playing the team at least 5 times.
Yeah. So it's almost like a different game altogether. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
Play the same team.
I think it is important. To get that experience.
No tanking. We tanked enough. 10 years of tanking.
Yeah, man. Tanking is terrible.
Yeah.
Tanking is terrible. I mean, I understand, guys want to get, these young, possibly transformational guys that could be coming up in the draft. But you never know. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be I mean, look at Jahlil Okafor tonight. I was looking at Jahlil. I was like, wow, this is the guy. He was the 3rd seed in a deep draft. The 3rd seed. And he was supposed to be, this transformational big man in the NBA. Does he have time? He's got time. Yeah, he's got time. But he doesn't look like it.
We could have easily had him over Porzingis.
Exactly.
And we got lucky. And Russell's on that team too.
Yeah.
It's a 2 pick.
Yep.
And it doesn't really matter where you fall in the draft, because it's proven every year that you could find talent at 17 or 20 or 19. You never know who transforms into an NBA game,
Exactly.
Until they get there,
Yep. You never know whose talent transfers over.
Plus, we have our picks. We have some young talent. We have 2nd-round picks. We could always trade and move up if that's what we want to do. We're fine in that position to do that.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, we have some assets that, we're in a good spot. Even if we make the playoffs. We're still in a good spot come draft time.
Yeah, 6. If you're in the lottery, you go up to the 17th pick. If you're the 8th seed, you probably get the 18th pick. So you're still right there.
Yeah, you're still in a decent spot.
You trade the 18th pick in the 2nd rounder, you move up to top 10. Say
maybe exactly. Maybe. So there's some things that could be done. Hey, French man, I'm gonna let you go, man.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Appreciate the call. Always.
Fellas, have a good night. We do it again tomorrow.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Tomorrow night we'll be on live and popping, bro.
Sir, I'll be here.
All right. For sure.
Hey, fellas.
Yeah, that's our man, French Unicorn. You know what I'm saying? One more question before I get off. It's a fun question. I seen it on the Knicks. The Knicks put out something on Twitter and they asked. They said we need a nickname for Frank and KP. And somebody said the French Unicorn. And I was like, hold up, you can't take the French Unicorn though. You know what I'm saying? Not unless it was a French Unicorn, not unless it was you that was on there. But I saw a couple of good names on there. One of them that I really liked was French Vanilla. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people said, oh, they'll never use French Vanilla, because, it's talk about Porzingis being white and da-da-da-da. I don't care about all that. I think that's a pretty dope name, man, French Vanilla. If they really become that kind of a duo, I think that's a dope name, and that's a name that I'm going to use. I like that name. I mean, the French Prince, but we're talking about Frank and KP together, them as a duo. You know what I'm saying? What kind of nickname would them as a duo have together? We know Ntilikina's name. He's got a couple of them. The French Prince is one of them. But with KP and Frank together, You know what I'm saying? I think that French Vanilla, I think that's a pretty dope name. I like that one. You know what I'm saying? So the Knicks might not call him that because of, you know, everything's got to stay politically correct. You know what I'm saying? But the internet, Twitter, all that, the French Unicorn, French Vanilla for KP and Frank together as a duo, I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like that. French Vanilla. So, you know, that's my name for them too. So when I see the little pick and roll with Frank and KP, pick and pop, whatever they do, I'm calling them hashtag French Vanilla. You know what I'm saying? I like that name right there. Hashtag French Vanilla. You know, so, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I like some of the things that I see, you know, some of the ways I seen Frank find KP out on the French Vanilla sounds like a bad rapper's name. You might be right. You might be right with that one, Cameron. But I like some of the things, you know, some of the ways I seen Frank and Frank find KP out on the perimeter a few times tonight. You know what I'm saying? That was nice. The French Unicorn, yeah, you're right, French Unicorn, man. That's a dope name too. But you already got that on lockdown, man. Not unless you're gonna give it to him, you kind of got that locked down already. Kind of got a lot. But listen, guys, I'm gonna head off. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could have a marathon night, but I got to get up early. You know what I mean? I got a meeting tomorrow. I've had a busy January's has been a crazy month for me. It's been a super busy month, but it's about to chill out a little bit, and I can have a couple little, you know, I can take the stream a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? But I got another meeting tomorrow morning, and then after that, I'm kind of cool, and I can just chill out, relax a little bit. You know, knock some of these streams out. I got a couple of videos I want to record that I got to get up. I just haven't had time to do it because I had so much going on. But tomorrow's my last meeting. Not my last meeting, but it's one of my, you know, to kind of end out the month. You know, it's always January's always a crazy month for me because it's New Year. Not a lot of things going on. Clients need this and that done to get ready for the new year. But you know, I got a couple things in store that I want to get out. So I'm happy things are gonna chill out for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But glad you guys was on with me. You know what I'm saying? 23 Braid, thank you for logging on. 23 Blade, thank you for logging on, bro. I'm gonna log off, and I will see y'all tomorrow night as we go ahead and see if we can. Yeah, Ralph, I do freelance. I do a lot of freelance. I do freelance. I work with businesses. I'm a business consultant, and I do a lot of strategic planning with businesses and helping them coming up with, you know, strategies to attack certain issues and organizational management and some social media stuff and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I do, and I do it freelance. You know what I mean? I own a consulting business. So, you know, that's how I do it. Yeah, so, you know, sometimes I got a lot of clients, a lot of things popping off at the same time with clients. That's what January is usually like for me. So, you know, it's just one of those months. But yeah, we could talk about that a little bit more at another time, though. You know, you can hit me up offline if you know, if you just want to learn how to do it, you know, and you know how to get into it. But I'm about to log off, y'all. All right. Peace for the night. I will see y'all tomorrow. Sleep easy. Make sure you check out that State of the Union address. Even if you don't like Trump, you got to check it out just so you know what's popping, what's going on. Stay informed. Peace. Oh, now peace. Yeah. Thank you for logging on, checking out the live stream. If you like this video, make sure you check out some of these videos over here. Make sure you subscribe, Ring the bell once you subscribe, and you get notifications anytime that I'm live. Peace, y'all.